flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Is there a motion to approve our agenda this morning?
Second.
Morning approved. We'll do it that way. All in favor?
Aye.
And then we have minutes from January 11th. Is there a motion there?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. General public concerns, I do not believe we have any. Okay, let's go down and do a resolution here. We have 2016-3. This resolution is for the master matrix we do every year. Peggy?
Pretty much same wording, all we do is change the dates. The section is the same. And then we send it into the DNR. So if they have it on file, we send it down to ISAC too, so they're aware of it.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the resolution 2016-3, the master matrix.
Is there a second on that?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. All right, and we also have a 28 agreement that Peggy has in her hands on a law enforcement agreement with the city of Hardy. And just a quick rundown, Dean and I went to that meeting here, whenever that was, a couple weeks ago. And visited with the council, told them what the reasoning was and, what that would entail as far as their coverage with Dean, and he went over that with them after a short discussion. They were willing to go ahead and sign that, so we have that ready to move forward on and vote on this morning. So I would recommend signing this.
I move we authorize the chairman to sign a 28-year agreement with Hardy for law enforcement.
Okay, we have Carl and Bruce, you want a second? Any discussion on this one? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Well, that next item, I'm sure maybe, has anybody had any chance to come up with, North Iowa Central Emergency Medical Association appointment? Not, Peggy, can you just
What kind of
enlighten me what that entails, or what that
Yeah.
really, I mean, I guess I'm confused.
I wish I knew exactly, but it is a board, I'm still trying to get a hold of Mr. Wiggins.
Okay,
I will keep trying, but get more information for you, but whether it even needs to be there or not, I don't know.
okay, that's a good point.
Well, if you find out that and how often they meet.
Yeah, we don't just
Yeah.
have much information. You know what, Peggy, we're gonna have a meeting this afternoon with Melanie, but I know she has connections in that field, and maybe we could give her a call and see if she knows anything about it, or might have, or she'd probably have a recommendation maybe, and I'll try and mention it to her if I think of it, but I think we can go contact with her and see if she's got any recommendations or something.
Okay, do that.
Gonna keep that on the agenda then for a later date?
We'll have to. Same way with the eminent domain board, has anybody tried to figure out any way we could ask to be on that?
Do they have to be from a certain area?
Just
a landowner?
Just a certain
Property.
category, they have to be under those three categories,
Yeah.
and I don't think I wrote that in with me, I'll get that when you're in drainage and give it back to you.
Yeah, I think it was landowner
We should be
and,
able to find some.
resident.
Okay, we'll kind of keep working on those two then. All right. Cheryl, do you want to come forward?
Good morning.
Morning, Cheryl.
This morning, I'd like to, as president of Humboldt County Housing, just give you a kind of review of 2015 on behalf of Humboldt County Housing. The success of Humboldt County Housing can be attributed to the financial support of both the city of Humboldt and Humboldt County, along with the hard work of all the volunteers on our board. The current members include Dave Dodgen, Veron Kuhn, Donnell Scow, Darrell Rusher, Rick Peterson, Clifton Califatich, Carl Mattis, Amy Donahue, and Humboldt City Administrator, and myself. The City of Humboldt and Humboldt County have each provided annual funds to assist in the efforts of Humboldt County Housing, which is a nonprofit Corporation. Since Humboldt County Housing utilizes no full-time staff, these funds are used to conduct engineering studies, provide matching funds for state and federal grants and low-interest loan programs, pay for professional services, and conduct county housing assessments. The members of Humboldt County Housing is very proud of the accomplishments that we've made since its conception in 1997. It's hard to believe we've been around that long. These are some of the projects that Humboldt County Housing has assisted in developing. In 1999, we constructed the Ivy Apartments. Those, have, I think, continued to remain full. In August of 2000, we developed 17 lots of single-family residence in Riverview Heights 3rd Edition. We assisted in the creation of the extension of the water and sewer mains for Riverview Heights 3rd Edition, which made Willow Ridge Edition feasible. That development created 20 lots for both single and multi-family housing. In 2003, we assisted in converting 14th Avenue Southwest and Pioneer Drive into a paved street with curb and gutter, and that had created 3 additional lots along that road. We've coordinated the remodeling and LHAP grant for the planning of the Scandia building, which converted that into an 8-unit rental property. On a continuous basis, Humboldt County Housing provides market information, zoning assistance, and tax incentive information to local contractors on construction of multifamily units. Humboldt County Housing continues to provide financial support for the Building Trades Program. The success of that program is a partnership formed by Humboldt Community School, Iowa Central Community College, Humboldt County Housing, and local businesses. The program started in 1999, and to date the students are constructing its 14th home. Many of the past students are working in the area of contractors, electricians, plumbers, etc. Humboldt County Housing purchased the lots of these homes and applies for the financing. All profits and any losses are absorbed within the Building Trades Program. Humboldt County Housing continues to assist in the administration of the Community Development Block Grant, otherwise referred to as a CDBG. The city of Humboldt supported this initiative by providing a local match and additional funding to the low to moderate income fund. We did not receive funding for that in 2015, but hope to plan on applying again in 2016. I believe some areas, communities have since made application to that program. In May of 2007, Riverview Heights 5th Edition was started. That provided 15 lots, and at the end of 2012, we purchased 71 acres to develop Eagle Ridge. Phase 1 has 22 lots, of which 20 are sold, and 8 homes have been completed to date, with 3 additional homes under construction. If you haven't made it up to that subdivision, you should go about every 2 weeks, because it's just like a mini city up there. The lots do require completion of construction within 5 years. Phase 2 will consist of 20 lots, and there's no date set for the installation of the infrastructure for that phase. Lot 10 was sold to the county for future development of the green space. Also, we have the extension of Eagle Ridge Drive, which will be completed this spring. This came to fruition with a private development of property purchased by Ryan and Abby Harklaw. This added 4 additional homes, of which construction needs to be completed within a 5-year period. We also have a demo grant program that was established in 2013. Any qualified property owner in Humboldt County can receive up to $7,500 to demolish an unsightly property. The only stipulation is that you must rebuild a single-family dwelling on the property. In 2013, funds were secured to construct a low to moderate dwelling Plans are still being reviewed on this project. Nothing has been actually, determined at this point. And at the end of 2013, a project for moderate housing was kicked off. This area had been on the radar of Humboldt County Housing to address for many years. An opportunity arose to purchase an unsightly, dilapidated mobile home park and convert it into 8 moderate-priced homes. The lots were available for $1 to any person or contractor, with a stipulation that a home be constructed within 30 days of purchase, and the sale price be under $200,000. Construction has been completed, the homes are for sale, and to date, 3 of those homes have been sold. In summary, based on the information of Humboldt County Housing, has been very active in the projects that have created Humboldt County's assessed valuation by millions of dollars. This increase in valuations continue to generate a large dollar amount of additional property tax revenues for local governments. These accomplishments continue to be instrumental in alleviating the housing shortage that has been prevalent in both Humboldt County and the surrounding areas. These developments have not only increased the community's tax base, but they are also critical to the development of the community's workforce and regional growth. Humboldt County Housing respectfully requests $7,500 for 2016. At this time, any questions you might have? I know we have some new members on the Supervisors Board, and that was a lot of information to throw at you all at once, but...
Cheryl, what we usually do is take your request under advisement, we get into hot and heavy of the budget and see what we can come up with.
Very good.
I can speak with Rick and I, you know, we have a good program going.
Yeah. And it's important to keep those, you get those young kids interested in the field and keep them in the community.
I also serve on the Mid-Iowa Growth Partnership, and this is one thing that I feel, you know, very fortunate in, that Humboldt County has had the foresight to take a problem that others have been dealing with for some time, and that's lack of housing, dilapidated housing, and we are light years ahead of these other counties. And with that, that's what, along with our schools and just a wonderful community, helps attract people to our actual town and county.
Cheryl and I go to those meetings down at Fort Dodge, I think it's what, 8 counties? 6 counties? I don't know.
I think it's more than that, actually.
Try to pick our brains, because they'd like to be doing what we're doing. We've really got something going.
You hear that all the time.
Mhm.
So Cheryl, there's one house that's completed for sale, and I'm working on a second one that's up at Eagle Ridge.
Correct.
The one that's completed, is there any reason why, I'm sorry about my voice,
That's all right.
is there any reason why they haven't did the lawn seeding on there? It appears to me that makes it hard to sell without some seeding.
That, it's kind of a catch-22, but hindsight with the weather and all of that, if we would have known what a wet fall it was going to be, we would have done that, and then it was the plans to do that. There is a lawn allowance in there, and they just ran out of time. It's my understanding we're first on when the conditions.
Get fit again.
Mhm.
Because I think that helps.
I do too.
It's hard to sell.
Yeah, it's hard to sell something when there's
Mhm.
no lawn.
But then the fun part is watering and mowing and all of
Yeah,
that
it's
too,
terrible.
so I've been on both sides.
Yeah, 'cause that's the problem, when nobody living there,
Yeah.
someone's gotta run up, turn the sprinklers on, turn them off, turn them on.
Well, I even thought with the 8 houses that were developed south part of
Mhm.
town, until the lawn work got done, those were hard to
Right.
sell at that way.
Curb appeal makes a big difference,
Yeah,
so.
okay.
Thanks,
Cheryl.
You're welcome.
Let you come up whenever you want to, Janet. You're 5 minutes.
Right.
We're only 5 minutes ahead.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're ready.
Talk a little
Housing, swimming, right?
Housing to swimming,
Yeah.
yes, which is improving our housing in Livermore, right? Okay, I'm here again, asking for your support for our swimming pool. A little update, we employed 11 children, teenagers this summer, which is fantastic. Our pool didn't have very many problems, we had a little bit of a heater problem, but I think we've got that resolved. We employ kids from Hardy, Renwick, Livermore, of course, 2 from Kasuth, and a couple here from Dakota City and Humboldt. Like the Michelsons, all her children worked at our pool, so just a great place. We have a benefit every year. Last year, our benefit did raise us $1,800, and this year, we're gonna try to get matching funds, just so we keep ahead of the game, so when things go by. But as far as our council goes, if anything happens with the filtration system, like it did in the Humboldt pool, the old Humboldt pool, we will not continue our pool anymore. So if you decide to give us funding or something happens where our pool will not, so we will return your funding to you, because, $1,600 is what you've given to us in the past.
You get money from the foundation grant too? Have you applied for
No,
it?
we do not. No, we haven't. I don't know where would be our grounds?
I would think that would qualify, but maybe not, probably. You have to go to a meeting in December, and the county's got funds that they...
Yeah, we did that for the Freedom Rock.
Okay, you know what's about that.
Yeah, we got $10,000 for that, and...
Probably, pool might be something different.
Be a little hard for maintenance,
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be hard to get that for maintenance unless we were gonna improve it some way, but we're not improving, we're just maintaining is the only thing we're doing. We could do it for our tennis court, that's...
I think Renwick's done their tennis court one time, years ago, got some funding for that.
Yeah, that'd be a
That'd be
nice
an
thought.
improvement.
Yeah, that'd be quite an improvement, because people pick up rocks from the pieces of asphalt, and they throw them over the wall and throw them into the pool, because you know what fun is. Now it's only fun to do.
Yeah. Well, I think we understand your request, I think we appreciate you coming in and asking
Okay.
for it, and we'll put that on our schedule for...
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Well, we got a little bit of time, because we need to wait for,
We got about 7
Paul
minutes.
Jacobson to be here.
Your report's done?
Yep, let's start on
So
that.
additional mail for
Oh.
the file?
So we'll jump down to committee reports. Rick, I'll let you start.
Oh, I just had 2 this week. I was at Bank, Iowa for the HCDA meeting, at 7 Thursday morning. Talked about, the hospital getting their new doctors, and their upcoming event was one of the dueling pianos. It sounded like it was a great turnout for the hospital. And, the 2 new doctors coming to town, which I think they're gonna be here in July or August now, the way it sounds. And then Thursday evening, I was down at Rustics for, a Merrick Inn meeting. They're looking to come to town and looking for people to invest in their hotel. So it was rather interesting to,
Was there a good turnout for that, Rick?
I thought there'd be more, but I
Was
think,
this the second meeting?
I think this was the second
They
meeting.
wanted real on for the interest.
Yep, yeah. And I think, some people weren't there, but they had people there representing them.
Sure.
One person was representing a couple of people. So, that's all I had.
They want to raise $1.4 million, to get that thing kicked off.
Yeah, it's about almost a $5 million project, 40.7 or $5 million project, and they need 30%. But it wouldn't surprise me if the local people didn't come up with the money, somebody outside is going to. We just got to...
Do they have a location, or they don't
Not
realize
yet.
any of that? They're
Not
just
yet, they gotta raise,
fishing?
well, the problem is they gotta kinda get the funds raised first, and then they hold them in escrow before they get real serious about making offers on property, because if they don't have the money raised, then it falls
Right.
through. But, I really think it's gonna happen.
I think you got 4 properties in mind, but they don't want to say anything about it until they
Sure.
get the funds in.
Yeah, they got 4 locations kinda picked out.
So they got options there.
Yeah, there's places to put it, so.
No, that's good. Would be a good thing.
Yeah, and it's gonna have a pool in it, which would be nice for our community, that can be rented for individual, private parties, and swimming lessons and things like that.
Hmm.
And it'll have a meeting room in it, a small meeting room, and so the blueprints they showed, that it's a very nice facility. I think it'd be a great asset to our community, and I think it'll keep a lot of weddings in town rather than going to Fort Dodge or something. I know a lot of weddings do end up in Fort Dodge just because of the hotel situation, so.
And I think those American Inns are well run, if you look around the country.
Yeah,
Any of I've ever stayed in, they're very personal.
They have their own management team run it for a year to break in the new people.
So they put some time in it.
Yeah, they don't want them to fail. They put a lot of effort into them. So it,
Good meeting.
I think it'll be a good asset to Humboldt.
I had no committee meeting.
I had no meetings, I did get lined up with Michelle,
But,
and I'm set up to join its building families, and it's every other month, so that starts next month on the 22nd, so thanks for that, Carl.
What is that meeting now,
Over in Clarion.
There's a supervisor from Clarion County and one, or from Wright County and one from Hamilton County.
Used to hold that in Hamilton County.
They changed the location.
And I'm supposed to go to my ministerial meeting on Wednesday, but I'm also going to ISAC school, so I'm gonna have to
Pass on that.
pass on ministerial. The ministers are gonna excommunicate me here if I don't show up at one of the meetings, so.
Well, I was gone last week, but I had some meetings I attended the week before, Peggy. On the 5th of January, we had a daycare meeting, and it's still progressing to put on additional over here at Meese. And won't be too long to start the fundraising on that, get the plans drawn and working with the school pretty closely on that. On Wednesday, we had a wellness meeting, that's also progressing fairly well. Hopefully, we're gonna get a addition on the racquetball club down here, which would include a running track and a gymnasium, and remodel the whole inside, and new roof, new floor, new front. And that's gonna be a fundraiser too, so, taking a lot of money all at once. And then on Thursday, I had an all-day workshop in Fort Dodge on workforce development. And as I've told the group before, workforce development involves a lot more than just job placement or unemployment. That's a very tiny bit of what they do. They have all kinds of partners involved with this. The building and families, a membership there, as well as, disabled and, Veterans Affairs. And they all kind of work as a team and try to get people placed and get training programs going, working with a college. Pretty good program, as I said before. If you have anybody that's even thinking about retraining or wanting to get trained or these kind of things, that's a good contact. That was the extent of my meetings.
Very good. Okay, I had, Iowa Drainage District Association meeting on January 13th in Pocahontas at 9:30. And, went over some budget items. For the half year, we're right on schedule with expenses, and income is about 100%, because most of our dues are collected early in the year, so we're good there. He was gonna visit with a new county that's considering joining, and I can't think of what it was, which county it was offhand, but, he's gonna make a point to go out and visit with them, kinda talk to them a little bit, talk to their auditor about it, so. And we went over the discussion on the lawsuit for the 3 counties that are being sued, and that's continuing to move on. I'm not really gonna be allowed to say much on it because of the next steps, but one thing that's interesting, we were told there's probably, on our side, there's probably 2 lawyers down in the law firm that work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week on that, so we started running $25,000 a week just for the lawyer fees on this thing, so I wonder why it's taking so much money to, they're asking for a lot of support, and they're getting a lot of support. There's a lot of different agents, groups that are supporting them, but this thing's gonna be very costly, so. That's probably all I can say about that. Other than that, I had no other meetings, Peggy.
Jerry, when they talk about that, Des Moines Water Works, you ever talk about what's happening in Cedar Rapids? Seems like a different flavor there. The people in Cedar Rapids are kind of cooperating and trying to work things out, and Des Moines, they're trying to shoot at us. If they ever been,
Our site, we're not really approaching our site to put out a lot of information. What I'm gathering is they're preparing themselves with the right information to the right court, to the right time and place to do it. I think they're trying to keep away from controversy and stirring up things, hearsay, repeated things that get twisted. I mean, there's a lot of effort and time going into our preparation, how we're gonna present this. And it's very key that they say it at the right time to the right people, it sounds like to me, so. I mean, it's really tough to sit back and hear things in the paper, and you can't really, it's not doing a lot of good to respond to it, because we're going to court on this, you know, we wanna remember we're going to court, and that's where it's gonna be decided, so. They will be prepared, I believe, so. We will move forward on that. All right. It's 8:55, we're right on schedule. We need a motion to go into drainage.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Carl did.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll get Trish, and I think Rick should be.
You know, I was on that building code board for 9 years, and then they came out and told me I was only allowed to be on it for 3. Hey, Bruce.
Well, you're on
Term
six,
limits,
are you?
Yeah, they changed the rules to keep us on a little bit.
How much longer can you be on?
I think 3-year term, but they got different classifications. I was on once as an educator and once as a business.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of new members down here.
day.
Yeah.
And you're right, between Western
Yeah.
City, now they meet professionally over
And
there.
the bill for the Plain Waterworks.
Yeah, she says right by Wells Fargo.
Plus, we have,
That's when that north door is usually locked.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
What is it, every other month at 3 to 4:30, I think is when
What
they
do you
do.
heard about
Yeah, I made a mistake, Sean, at one point.
Yeah, they say they're going to, but they
Kinda
can't find any property.
Real good for
With all your papers, I see you under the...
There's stuff in there. I'm gonna use those later.
Yeah, they tried, but they can't get it done.
Heat wave in Emmitsburg?
No.
No, it's
Hold it out for too much.
Nasty.
we're above zero down here now.
So, yeah, that's what my car thermometer
Okay, our
said too.
first item is D 125. We have a pay estimate number 8, Denver Underground. I'll let Trish and Rick explain, so I can't hardly talk this morning.
Yeah.
So whoever...
It's the normal monthly progress, estimate, pay estimate. Just a quick update on where they're at. I talked to them a few days ago. They had all the main in, and they were going back and putting in some area drains. I don't know if you remember, a while ago, I brought down a detail of what we're gonna do for area drains, where we put in just a few laterals real close to each other,
Rather than intakes.
And we found 5 spots that we wanted them to put those in, and that's what they were gonna be working on. I haven't talked to them today to see how far they got with those. We're gonna put the heading on that detail as clean water area drains, just because that's what there'll be. They're gonna filter the water before it gets into the tile and get it away. What we don't know for sure is if we've got those quite close enough to each other. It's hard to get the volume of water through tile that it is an actual intake. We feel that we're close, but we have to sacrifice somewhere, in order to clean that water up. So that's part of what we're doing with that.
I got a question for you.
Yeah,
Where these laterals are laid, is that gonna be grassed area, or is it gonna be farmed area?
it's gonna be farmed,
Okay.
yeah, yep, so, yeah, it's just, they're just general low areas along the route is what they are, so, but right now, the plan is farm. We call for the depth of the tile to be between 3.5 and 4.5 feet deep, figuring that that'd be a good draw depth, for getting the water into it, so. But yeah, the pay estimate then is for the progress. I don't know what completion percentage we show.
Can you get a copy of that?
99%. No, you just get
Yeah, but what percentage is it?
99
Yeah.
estimated.
We,
We're getting close.
we still have a little discrepancy with Cretex, as far as quantities, but
Not just 45,000 plus.
part of that is pipe that weren't used, there were extra pipe, delivered. That's about the only difference we have with Cretex yet.
And we'll get all that resolved
Have they
before we're
picked up
done.
the stuff that wasn't used?
No, no.
Well, that's why it's not on their inventory.
There you go,
Yeah.
yes. I'm confident we'll get that worked out with them. I can't remember their new name, we just got another letter on it last week, yeah. Starts with an F. But,
So it's name change and everything.
yes.
Well, and this time of year, they don't do a whole lot of movement of the pipe.
No. No, and that's understandable, so.
Trish can get that moved. You got pickup, all right?
I got up to my car.
So, yeah, that's the deal, is you've been paying once a month. This one might have been a little longer period than that, 'cause there wasn't as much activity, but,
Okay, that being said, is there a motion to approve payroll?
I'll make a motion to approve pay estimate number 8 to Denver Underground.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Rick, you said something about tile going 3.5 feet deep, does that get below the frost line in this area?
No, not necessarily. Depends on the cover. Some years, yes. Depends on the snow cover. Several years ago, Denver had a job here in Humboldt County. They were able to dig all winter because we had 2 feet of snow on top of the ground. They'd clear off the snow in the morning and work, seal, close it up.
Still doing a lot of tiling out in the fields there.
Yeah, it's surprising. I don't know if there's just enough cover that they've been able to, but,
That's amazing.
yeah, I've been shocked.
All right.
They never found anything out on their machine?
I haven't heard any more on it, no.
Our next item at 9 o'clock is, DD2 lateral 1, and this is on the blacktop service bill in Gilmore City. Take that. Rick, I'll let you go ahead.
Well, this is, you're aware of that there was some repair work done on the DD2 tile within the city limits of Gilmore. This is similar to you going under a paved county road. It's street within the right-of-way that is covering up the district tile. The code calls for that to be paid by the governing body, and like secondary roads, is Paul here? I can get him at that time. No? If there was a way for secondary roads not to pay for that, replacing that paving, he would've found it.
And this is part of the original well closure project, or is this another?
No, this is another deal.
Another repair.
Yeah, this is another repair. Intakes were not taking water.
But on a
Right.
totally different.
Yeah, it wasn't part of that.
I'm sorry,
Right.
I told you wrong on that, so I'm sorry.
Part of 92.
Oh, this is part of
Yeah,
92?
it's actually part of 92. So, and the problem is whenever you get into, asphalt street repair, it's expensive. And I don't know what that total bill was from Blacktop Service,
Dennis probably
but,
knows.
yeah.
How much was it, Dennis? Just out of curiosity.
Here it is.
$10,280. Is that the total? Yes, 10,280. You could get drainage attorney's opinion, I guess, just to verify.
I think you're gonna get the same opinion, won't you?
I think so. I haven't asked him recently, or haven't asked Doug that particular question, but,
There's some remedies before too, you know.
Like I say, it's,
We had the same thing happen in Cody City a few years ago when we had the big tiling project go through.
yeah, and I don't remember any particular instances
trail.
on how that was done, but that's the policy.
It's unfair, but it's a code.
Conservation had to cover their costs too.
Yes, that's
Kinda like
right.
railroad.
Out by the the trail.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So refresh me, what is the policy?
That any street repair
require due to work on the drainage district, if it's in city or county right-of-way, whoever is responsible for the right-of-way pays for that repair.
And that's what Paul does.
That's what, yeah, he has to pay for secondary roads, and that's why sometimes now they've been allowing us to cut through paved county roads, because that's way cheaper than doing the boring underneath it. So, it actually, they either pay for the boring costs, complete, or they pay for the road repair. And it's cheaper to repair the road than to do one of those expensive borings, so.
Can't be buying lots, because our patching isn't cheap anymore.
No, if it
Well,
doesn't,
that's really going up.
and then you gotta come back and patch it for the next five,
Yeah.
5 years later, and another 5.
So
Yeah.
that would be taken out of Paul's budget as opposed to...
This would be out of the city's budget, because it's Gilmore City streets. That's the unfortunate part.
Yeah. What are their options? Say, no, you can't hook up the tile?
Yeah,
You
that's,
can't say that.
I know, that's what I'm
No.
saying. You really
They
have
don't
a
have
choice.
an option.
yeah,
You
that's,
just get stuck with the bill.
yeah.
I'm sure,
Yeah, if it was a city storm sewer, they'd be paying the bill, and it's, I don't know if that's part of the reasoning or not, but that's, yeah.
I think our hands are probably tied. Since we're-
Well, that's,
Regarding the
yeah,
law.
and that's what I say. Most you could do is get an attorney's opinion if you'd like, to verify that it's still the same. But,
Dennis, do you want an opinion?
Well, I wish we knew this before this project started. We completely completely different.
mm,
Because, the last meeting I was over here, the supervisors said they would take care of the repair and the cost.
mm,
So, they contacted Blacktop Service, they did it. And now you're telling us, after you guys approved it, now we're stuck with the bill. We'd have done it different than that. We'd have found a more reasonable way to do it.
Trish, did you have any record of comments made that supervisors would pay for this out of your minutes? I don't believe it would, I couldn't double check, but, yeah.
Well, why don't we just table it till Trish can go back through the minutes and look at it?
That being said, we wouldn't be allowed to do anyway, I mean.
Probably not.
So. Okay. Trish, need a second opinion?
Sure.
just to see-
Yeah.
Do you remember what time of year that was, how long the project was when we, supposedly somebody made that comment? Was that the start, or?
No, it was, last fall,
Okay.
let's say October. September, October.
Was that a board meeting, or?
It was at a board meeting.
At board-
At a board meeting here, seemed to me, I remember that.
Okay.
That narrows it down for your search anyway.
That's all we can do?
yeah, yeah. Check that out.
Go from
Yeah.
there.
table it and find out, get back to them.
Yep. All right, one more item before we go to drainage is, Mark Dickey's here today, and he wanted to go over with Rick and some.
Yeah, I wanted to know what the status was on the,
Yeah,
on the dam.
it's a good question. Couple of things going with this. We had a pond as part of this DD 125 project. Worked with Mark looking at different location for it, but in the meantime, the project that Denver's doing, we encountered lots of unstable soil and a lot of additional rock expense was incurred. Basically, the unfortunate thing is the pond is something that is not, wasn't 100% required as part of the project. We're doing things to dissipate the energy on that water at the outlet. Now, it would be absolutely the best to have a pond, and I think that's what we need to work towards. I don't know if we can accomplish it within 125. We may be having to look at some of the funding the state is talking about. I do not want to give up on this pond, because I think it's still a really good idea. I just do not know if we can cover it within 125. Mark's had some expense, clearing some trees. NRCS has worked up part of the design. I can offer our services for application for additional funds at no charge, in hopes that we can still get something approved. I just don't think it will be within DD 125 as far as this project. Bad situation, I know, but it's all this extra rock, and we had to use it to get this pipe stabilized. So, I think we should talk to Mike Borland about it, the state engineer. Now that we're very close as far as, final costs on construction, I'm hoping within the next month we can get quantities settled. We can work with Mike as far as financing, and then get you a better answer, say within a month. That would give us time to still put something else together for some application for additional funds, so.
Yeah, well, something has to be done. There isn't one person in this room would let that kind of water surface flow to the river. You know, you got some big erosion problems there.
Well, that's why we wanna continue to work on it to get it accomplished. It's just what the timing on it at this point. We're gonna still do, like in the concrete apron, we put concrete blocks in there to stir up the water, we put riprap below the apron. That'll get it spread out and slowed down some, but, it's still gonna congregate and go down that ravine. That's why the best thing would be to get this pond built.
So how far are you talking running on the surface, that you're worried about the erosion?
Half a mile.
Half a mile? And how big is that pipe?
36
Or the outlet?
at the outlet, is it 36? Some of it's a little bigger because of slope, but I think the outlet part is
The outlet, I
36.
think, is 36.
Yeah,
And it comes out of there pretty fast.
yes, and they have not done the concrete blocks or the riprap yet, so that'll help. But the best answer is to get a pond put in there. And this history goes back quite a ways, because NRCS had a design worked out, and then the funding became a problem. We had a design worked out with this project, funding becomes an issue. We need to follow through somehow and get some funds for that, to make it happen.
Why is it won't fall within 125's expense? Has there been?
Because it will probably close out 125. I think the funds will be the issue on 125, and then we'll end up closing it out and funding it by other means, I believe. But
That's a separate item, Rick?
as a separate item, yeah. But we'll, like I say, we'll use these pay estimate here and the last one to Cretex, get quantities, finalized, have final dollars, and then we can work with Mike Borland and see what's actually there for funds. Hope to have a dollar figure of funds available, if any, if nothing else, to do part of the construction, so that there won't be as much to do later.
Well, I'm confused. This project was done with the idea that was gonna be emptied into this pond?
Yeah, we had a smaller pond called for closer to the road. That was, yeah, we got that
So then the
idea.
pond is now unable to be used because we don't have the funds to drain
That's,
the drainage we just put in.
that's it in a nutshell. I mean,
That's really not, I mean, what's he supposed to do? What are we gonna do with the water? You can't just plug the tile and say, well...
no, that's why we're gonna try and dissipate all the energy we can to minimize any erosion. This is a natural area for the water to collect. There was always water going there, but we're taking more water there. It's the natural way to the river. Quite a bit got there already, but we picked up more water to take there, because it was an outlet we could get to, so.
You took water from one watershed and put it in another, you're supposed to get permission from the downstream owners. I can't understand why the law doesn't pertain to this. Now, you should have permission from him.
We took,
From me, because it doesn't do us any good. But
Yeah.
yet, you're dumping all this, and, you went through my property. I didn't need the drainage at all. It's gonna cost me, because you're putting me in the drainage district, I got my grounds all tiled. Why should I pay a nickel? All it did was raise heck with my ground.
Gary
You
is,
can go over the law. How can you do that?
these are potholes that could be drained either way. You still had to do improvements to drain some of this to the southeast. That area is completely overloaded at this point. So you'd be creating more problems for more people going that way. Gary has an ag well that needed to be closed. This system that we're doing will close that ag well and give him good drainage.
I got good drainage now.
Oh, I know, you've really tiled a lot.
I mean in that ag well. Don't say I don't have good drainage.
Well, no, but it's-
So are those other ones. I just am scared that this drainage system you're putting in is not gonna take care of it. If you'd had the inch coefficient, it would've.
Well, we'd have been we're in favor of an inch,
Well,
absolutely in favor of an inch,
I
but it's,
wasn't, because it didn't do me any good. Yeah, that drainage well down there's one, but going through the rest of my ground and
But-
adding another 100 acres.
What you're telling us is that just the added cost of the rock ate up the money that was planned for the pond?
I believe that's the situation. That's how I see it at this point. We will work with the estimates, pay estimates, and verify where everything stands, with the dollars, and how can we still accomplish this, or where do we get the funds to accomplish it, so.
So on a rough estimate, how much rock was added to the
Sounds like an
cost?
awful lot of
Yeah, probably $50,000 worth, I guess. I'll know very soon.
Well, I mean, if you're putting the tile in and you don't put it in proper, then you've defeated the whole purpose.
Well,
What I'm saying is if
Yeah.
you had to have the rock to make it,
oh, yeah, yeah.
but on the
The
other
pipe
side
would
of
have
the
set
coin
it,
is,
yeah.
that's a lot of rock to say that's chewed up all of the ability to
Oh, I know.
put the pond.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
How come you didn't use any rock on DD two?
We did. Just didn't hit as much, they didn't hit as, oh, yeah, there was quite a bit of rock used there too. The unstable conditions.
You're gonna talk to Mike Boland?
Yeah, mhm.
Okay, so how soon can you act on, I mean, we need to get an answer back from...
Oh, yeah,
Because
absolutely,
Mark's still standing, not knowing what to do.
absolutely, yeah.
So the timetable, how do you...
Should be able to get quantities settled, final dollars settled within a couple weeks.
Well, if we're 99% done, right?
Yeah.
So it should be 99% of the bills are,
And then you would present that to Mike Boland?
Yes.
And this would be on a new round of funding?
No, that'd be to see where we're at on these
On
funds.
these costs? Okay.
Right here, see, there's,
Presenting left.
right.
And if
Because
there's-
they-
Then what do you do?
Yeah, what's the worst case scenario?
Worst case scenario is we go after additional funding.
On another round, so...
Probably another round, or some of these other funds.
Funding that's
Yes,
available.
yes. Worst case, that's worst case. I'm very curious where we're at within this project,
I got a question.
including
The initial
contingency.
cost of this pond, what were those estimates?
Let's see,
I mean, how many dollars are we looking at?
where's that Denver? Does that have item on it? Oh, it doesn't have the quantity, it has the cost per cubic yard. Shoot. No, I'd have to go back to the contract. Since the excavation wasn't paid for on this, it doesn't have the cost, it just has the cost per cubic yard. I'll get that. Let's get through these numbers and see where we're at. There was some contingencies there, but not a lot in Mike Borland's contract. So, we'll find out exactly where we're at. Then we can talk more intelligently about it.
and I don't want to pin you down on a number on the tile with Cretex or whatever their new name is.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any idea what that number is, with the discrepancy, what they're saying?
Well, they, like, $20-some thousand. And there's a lot of pipes
Give or
just sitting
take.
out there,
Well, I was
give or
gonna say,
take.
give or
Yeah,
take, you got a
yeah.
lot of pipes sitting out there, and until it's all either returned or figured out what they're doing with it, that's just gonna be on the books. Could be till spring.
It's possible. Here's what we did last time, with them on one where we had discrepancies. We gave them a summary of the pipe installed and showed that that covered everything that went in the ground, so that the difference was mostly somehow in the bookkeeping as far as what was returned and maybe not documented, or was broken when they unloaded, so those kinds of things. We ended up settling, I think, in the end, we were $7,000 or $8,000 difference on the last project, and we resolved that where they accepted our numbers, so.
Okay.
We'll get to the bottom of that too here very, very soon. That's why I'm saying we'll have a lot better dollar idea to work with and can talk way more intelligently about what we can and can't do.
Okay, here's what I think we need to do. Rich says we can have this in 2 weeks. I think we set up
Put it on the
a date and
agenda.
time, and everybody's kind of ready and accountable, so Mark can figure out where he's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
All right, so that would be out to February 1st on a Monday.
Tricia's gotta get a book.
She better.
Yeah, looks open yet.
Because if we know where we're at, and we know we don't have the money there, then we need to, we're reaching the
get
next
started,
funding.
Yeah.
That could be cleaned up real easy if we can get this thing
Oh,
started.
absolutely, 'cause NRCS would work with the design, finalizing the design and,
But
yes.
I want to get it on a schedule so we can
Yes,
follow.
yes.
All right, what do you got on the first, anything? 9 o'clock?
So that's 125,
Yep.
Yeah.
125 at 9 AM.
That work, Mark?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see exactly where we're at now.
I don't think you're gonna get the NRCS to complete their design though, because they already told us that there was no funding there, so they're not gonna move forward, so that's gonna be something your firm's gonna probably have to handle.
Possibly, we'll see what they say
If they've done some work on it, we may be able to reimburse them or something, could we, Rick, or how does that work?
possibly, but the funding is the issue, yeah. Basically, if there's a funding source, we may be able to convince them to finish up the design, if we can prove we got a funding source.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Number 2, right, the 22nd. We had it on the, I'm just checking my notes. We had it on the 15th, we moved it to the 22nd, right?
I'm gonna have some business.
We'll talk about that in a
You're
minute.
making me
Yeah.
lose my book.
Okay, along those lines then, I think we should also put, Gilmore City back on the agenda that morning at 9:15 or so. So we can see.
On the first?
Yeah, on the first.
Good idea.
And, you know, and so I try to think back what happened, and I do believe there may have been some correspondence from Rick that maybe they could pay for that. I don't think it started with supervisors, but I do think Rick maybe had mentioned that. So we need, and that's what I think, we never mentioned that we were gonna fund that outside arm.
If we had correspondence, we'd have a copy.
And that's what I think Trish is gonna find, so we'll get back together in 2 weeks and see what she finds.
I'm gonna
Go
put it
ahead.
under Drainage District 92 though.
Okay,
That's what
because,
it's really in 92.
so we're getting confused with DD 2 is what I think's happening here.
Yeah,
I think it's actually District 92. It should be-
Yes.
it's in the same right name.
And that can happen, I'm just saying, if there was a miscommunication, it needs to be figured out, because I don't think we promised to pay for any of that. Offhand.
So do we let Blacktop Service know that we're gonna push that back 2 weeks? I mean, that's $10,000.
When did you get your bill, Dennis, and what do they say on the due date? They gotta,
I don't think they give a due date.
Okay. So,
This bill was made out 12/16/15.
Yeah, so
Alright.
you're looking at
Yeah.
almost 2 months.
I can
I just call
John
them and say,
talk to
hey,
him.
okay.
I'll call,
That'd be good.
I'll call John Webb,
Tell him we're
talk to
working on
him,
it.
tell him we're working it out, so he doesn't.
But I know we don't have the budget for it.
Well, John should be aware of what's going on, it's not fair to him to just...
Well, no, I...
And that's why,
Yeah.
as long as we know who's gonna do it, that's...
right, but at least let them know.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. 2 weeks. Yep. All right, what else?
Another deal, DD9 joint with Wright County. Was it right before I came, is in the process of being a joint district.
Mm-hmm, way over east,
Oh, is that the one? on the
Yeah.
right? Highway 17, is that 17?
yes,
All right.
yes.
So...
There was a petition filed for some repairs in,
There was.
well, back up a little. The drainage district map shows a portion of Wright County within the boundary of DD nine. But nobody in Wright County had ever paid. So we went through an annexation report, had the hearing, people were annexed. We did a reclassification, including Wright County, but when the final reclassification was filed, we were told to pull Wright County out. And the report that was approved did not include Wright County. There was a resolution passed that made it a joint district then, joint district Humboldt Wright 9 and 235, I think it is. And then it just kinda died there. So as far as I'm concerned, there is still an active petition that calls for some repairs, but that was never done. We need to do that, we need to reclassify the lands in Wright and get them in the report. Now, some legal opinion or something made us take that out. It wasn't just our doing, because we had it in there. I found a copy of the report with Wright County in there.
But did we take it out because we were joining two different districts, or what?
Shouldn't have,
Because the work was done first in our county, right?
yeah.
Wright County's benefiting from it, but they're not paying.
Well,
Not really that much at this point. At some time, their part was straightened out and cleaned out. We can't find the records of when that was done. And that might have been why it was pulled out. It's really strange looking when you look at the report for the reclassification, because it says Humboldt, and there's a gap where it used to say and Wright, County Drainage District number 9 reclassification. So it was real obvious that it got pulled out of there last minute from directions we received. So, you basically need to meet with Wright and decide how to finish this up. I think they still need to honor that petition, and we counted the trees back then. I mean, we were ready to go. Yeah, if you follow 3 right over to the edge, year 9, is just north of Highway 3, and then as it goes into Wright County, it kinda curves around and heads south under
3 again.
under 3, yep.
That's just right here,
There you-
corner here.
Yes, right there, yep, that's it. So, basically need to just get resolved on what actions to take yet.
So that's right there by the state, where they keep the rock and stuff
Yeah.
right there in the corner?
That little bit of creek just north of there.
Yeah, it's real obvious when you pull back and look at an aerial photograph that it was straightened at one time, and the map for 9 shows it in the district, but it wasn't classified as a joint district until recently. I think it was 2010 that all this happened, I believe. So, yeah, it's, in that schedule, you have a meeting scheduled, right? Or tentatively?
I don't have it down.
They tentatively said.
Oh, that's what they did.
2 o'clock, January 25th, here.
Okay.
So that's why I'm checking with you. Okay.
2 o'clock?
Yeah, will that work for everyone? Gather changed it with before.
I'm gonna be here that day.
On which day?
2 o'clock.
The 25th,
25th.
they'd come here.
Works for me.
Yeah, maybe it will be too. I think I'll be, what, 2 o'clock?
It's been a week from today.
You gonna be up, Rick?
Yes, oh yeah. I've got the reports that were done, the reclassification that was done.
I'll be here.
Okay, we just need 3 at least. We got
I
3.
should be around.
I think we'll be okay. If you wanna move forward and get that done too, that's fine.
They're coming here or tell us?
Yeah.
Come here.
Here. At 2,
Perfect.
so I will listen in.
Anything else?
Yes.
That was quick.
Drainage District 6, down north of Thor. The decision was made to go ahead with reclassification prior to bid letting. We essentially have the reclassification ready to meet with commissioners. We're done with the work we do with soils and adjustments we can make before we meet with the commissioners. So, it isn't on the agenda to appoint commissioners, is it? I'm just thinking, think about it a little bit, I guess. Pat Hill and Brent Keenest won't work because they have interest in that area. Dick Nave would work. It'd be nice if you could develop a commissioner pool with 2 or 3 other more people in it, I think,
Yeah,
just for... David Hardemark does a great job, but I mean, he's been good about it, but he's pressed with everything he's involved in.
Name would probably be
We haven't had Nate for a while.
Name would probably be in Hawaii. He
Oh,
takes
really?
off.
Yeah, he usually goes.
Yeah, this time he might be that way, mightn't it? He goes for a month, I think,
Basically,
too.
they just have to be a landowner in a different area.
Right, correct, that's correct. Retired
Willing to do it.
farmers work well, yeah. Willing to show up for 2 or 3 meetings.
Bruce, if you can think of anybody out that direction, then that'd be great, if we could get a couple more appointed, but
Yeah, we could, you can get some new people, 'cause these
I think
guys
we're
are
gonna have to.
overloading them.
we're gonna have to start.
What about somebody like Ron Reedy?
Wow, yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, he'd be a good one, but I don't know.
Proactive.
Yeah. We'll talk to Trish after meeting, if she's got some ideas, if we've got some ideas too, at least ask a couple more, so.
Yeah, that'd be great, just to have a little better, not better,
Bigger
bigger
pool.
pool to pull
Bigger
from.
pool.
The pool has been great, it really has. But, yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
But, yeah, if you can appoint some people, then we could meet probably that week, and hopefully, that one's gonna be a little complicated, and we have an upper main and a lower main, and then a separate branch, just one quick thing related to that. I've been in contact with Doug Strike, and we thought he said something about where you can levy basically extra for special conditions, like if a farm floods out 3 months out of the summer, they need it worse than anybody, so that the initial construction, you can hit them way harder.
Okay.
Well, no, you can, but it's gonna take, what I mentioned to him was 2 reclassifications, because it wouldn't take much extra effort at all. The initial classification is for the initial construction, and then the second reclassification is for future maintenance. Takes very little extra work to do that, and that's what we did here in town, 13A, Humboldt, Dakota City. We did that for that one, and that worked fine.
And you tie more,
We tie them, like,
what do you do differently than having that second reclass?
the second reclass, you don't hit the ones that paid for that, the bulk of the construction as hard. You share it more equally in the second reclassification. I mean,
So you can hit the ones in the construction in the first one?
Yes.
But then you have to spread it out more equally?
yes, then you back off, yes.
For the maintenance of it?
For the maintenance of it.
Which kind of makes sense.
It's worked out well in the rare cases we've done it, and it,
You know, early on, there won't be a lot of maintenance, but down the road, another 50 to 100 years, then everybody's gonna have that.
That's right.
cost.
So Doug thought that was a fine idea, and I took it that he was gonna check if there was any way to do, like with wetland mitigation, you can do a separate report and say, these people owe this much money for their share of the mitigation. I thought he was gonna come up with something like that, but it doesn't sound very, very promising. So right now, we're planning to just do 2 reclassifications, hit the people that need it the worst, the hardest to start with, and then make it a little more balanced after that.
Okay, so now, on another item, on DD two, lateral one, reclass on the 15th, is that the date we have now, everybody? You were talking about a different date, we moved that to the 22nd.
We moved it to the 22nd.
And you're gonna move it again because why?
No, I don't have the commissioner's report available.
I'm finalizing it. Oh, yeah, no, I've done it. Just so you know,
Here we go.
what we did is we took the lateral down at the beginning, which is lateral L, split out those costs, because that was an item that was brought up. They were getting a lot of benefit and maybe not paying their share.
That was brought up in these reclass
Yes.
reviews with some landowners.
Yes. So
Okay.
I pulled all of that out, I estimated the cost for that lateral, well, really close, because we had actual footage constructed, we had actual prices, actual prices paid for right-of-way. Things I had to approximate was the engineering for that branch, interest for that branch. So I took that cost out of the main and put it on the people in lateral L. So I've done that, and it's amazing how much good that did. Now, what I need to go over with the commissioners yet today is, did we hit them too hard on it? Trish and I looked at numbers a little bit, they're a little higher than, say, other locations on the main, but man, they've got great drainage. I mean, they've got new tile.
Pretty quick range, probably.
Quick, yeah, because theirs will be there and gone before the rest of the district even gets there.
So you're meeting on that today.
10:30.
So how much time will it, Trish, how much time will you need to do this right? 'Cause, I mean, you're gonna pretty much be close after.
What I'm expecting to take back...
You gotta send letters out then again, right? Or what do you gotta do, correct? Everybody? Okay.
What I expect to do after today is take it back to the office, make the final adjustment, submit the report.
And that should be done this week then, maybe?
Yes. I'll probably bring it down for signature next Monday.
Perfect. Then what do you need for time?
Then Monday,
Monday is on the agenda.
I think we'll put it on the agenda.
There you go.
I'll do it before I have it.
No,
Right.
we'll put it on the agenda, we can always, delay it for something serious, let's go, right? So you wanna put that on, what do you wanna put down for next Monday? How do you want to speak?
Oh. What do you, yeah.
So-
Yes, so after, when you're meeting in the afternoon,
Yeah, that's the two.
it's gonna mess you up, but...
So, but don't we have a hearing date set for the 22nd? But that's not the stuff we're talking about.
That's,
February 22nd.
Yeah,
That's right, but we're talking January 25th.
you said that before the report was in hand, so it was just an approximation.
Okay. So what date do you want? And what time? What do you think?
Well,
You want?
what you'll be doing this next time...
You don't need to change this, do you? You don't need to change this one on the 22nd, is what you're...
Yes, because technically, you're getting a new reclassification,
Oh.
and you're gonna do a new notice to everybody, as how I believe it was interpreted.
Okay,
So the 22nd is scratch.
right, just like 15th was.
Isn't that how you thought it was, Trish?
So
Okay.
what date? You allow yourself to make plans, so you're ready.
Well, can I set that on Monday?
Yeah.
You wanna set it on Monday?
Yeah,
This
That
coming
gives you-
Monday the 25th, we wanna set the date for the
All right.
That gives her time to know
You
what
don't
she's
know
done.
more by then, is
Yeah.
what you're...
Right.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
I just was
No,
getting
I
ahead of
just
you.
wanna make sure I have
Yeah, I see.
everything before
I
I
see what you're
set
trying to
the
say.
date.
Yeah, you wanna make sure we're...
You wanna get as many pages in our book messed up as you can.
Well, I'm really...
Want to lay out.
You started it.
I'm gonna have to start bringing some.
You know, she uses the pencil.
It's like in our office when we're doing a final design, our receptionist who does those won't let us issue the notice until we give her the signed plans and specs.
There you go.
All right.
Because the contractors start calling the next day, so.
Now do you have anything else?
I don't think so. I hope not.
Okay, I have one other item. I'm not thinking item. At our meeting, I don't think I brought it up, but at our meeting for Iowa drainage, hold on, it's right here. It covers that. During our annual meeting, all the girls got together, the drainage clerks got together, talked about the idea of having a drainage clerk be present in our Iowa Drainage District Association meetings, and that person would just sit in there, wouldn't have voting rights, but would get to see what's going on at the state level as far as our decisions and information, and share information with directors on that board. We brought it to our meeting last week, and everybody was in favor of that, and I think they asked to see if Doreen, right? Doreen was interested first, but she thought it was gonna be too much of a problem for her at this time with different things going on with voting machine stuff. So that put Trish in line, and Trish has responded to me that she'd be interested in doing that. So we would have to check with Peggy to make sure it's okay for her to go to these meetings. These meetings run about 2.5 hours, maybe 3, and it's gonna take your morning, basically.
Yeah.
We start at 9:30, we're probably out at 11:30, 12, so it's gonna take a half a day, 4 to 5 times a year. And I personally think it'd be great for someone to sit on that board. I mean, I know it's taking
Get a lot more
an office,
knowledgeable.
but I think that information they can share with us and helping us, recognize things quicker, or things we could share with them would be invaluable, so. I'm probably gonna have to talk to Peggy about that after our meeting, see if you guys are comfortable.
I think it'd be a good idea. If Trish
She would,
wanted,
sure.
it'd be great.
And, maybe Trish does it a year or two, and then maybe someone else can try it too. I mean, it wouldn't have to be like a lifelong commitment to this, so. We could try it a year and see how it goes, and if she wants to do another year, maybe after a couple years, another auditor, might want to, or a drainage clerk might want to, so. Okay?
Well, before you go out, we still have the media here, wouldn't we have the ability to ask if there's any farmers in the area that would be willing to serve on your board that you're looking for? You have all of them sitting there.
Yeah, just something,
we're
just a
kinda
note that you're
looking
looking to build your,
The ability to at
build your-
least ask some people that have ownership of land and...
yep, build your pool of commissioners
Yeah,
for
we're trying to find some
reclassifications.
commissioners that are willing to
If we could
serve.
double that pool, it would take the load off. Someone wants to serve all the time, so.
Well, in the off-season, when they aren't doing it, this time of year it isn't so bad, but when they're farming and doing stuff that requires them to be...
And we're wrapping
But
up...
they don't have to be actively farming.
No.
Try-in farmer.
Oh, absolutely, that works out real well.
Knowledge.
We've probably got
Yeah, knowledge of it.
12 or 15...
It's
yeah.
huge.
Volunteer.
Well,
No,
they get compensated.
They get a little bit of money, huh?
Yeah.
They do get compensated.
Well, and I believe it's $25 an hour or a $100 minimum per meeting, so...
But the other side of it is, a lot of those older guys know the tiles and
Oh.
all of their information, or their
Yeah.
ability to help is
They understand.
unbelievable.
Oh, Dick Nave's background with all the private tiling they've done has been wonderful. I mean, absolutely wonderful, so. And we've got several reports we're gonna be bringing to you over the next 2 months, so it'd be good to have that pool established sooner rather than later.
Well, let's approach it that way. So, somebody you wanna ask them and get back to us, otherwise we'll try that and see if we can.
See if we can find anybody.
Sure.
All right, we
Good,
need to move. Any other things? Motion to go out of drainage,
so move.
second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Thanks, Rick.
Yeah, thank you.
Nothing like free advertising.
Makes us late in drainage, does.
Drainage
always makes us
Yeah, I know, it started out good.
Paul's next, isn't it?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay.
Swing out.
Only a half hour behind, what the heck?
He's talking out.
He's on the phone.
Oh, that's good. Oh.
Friday night, I went to bed about 1 o'clock, and about 1:30, I heard a noise, and the wood burning furnace was running, and I heard a noise, and then all of a sudden, a big rushing noise, and it didn't sound like a semi or truck going by, I got up in the morning, and north end of the elevator building, the pressure blew out and
Oh, man.
all that thing came clear up to the river.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
The what blew out?
Yeah, the south end of that big 1,000,000 bushel flat thing.
Which one, the east or the west flat?
The one
On
on
your
my back
side?
door, where the Legion was, or
Where
the
the
Rescue
Rescue
used to
all
be.
gave out, huh?
Just put it out, huh?
Wow.
They got a mess, they're cleaning up today.
That's why all the semis were parked there then.
You're up.
There's all kinds of good news for us, Paul. You don't get ice when it's 14 below, do you? Just snow.
Supposed to tomorrow. Good morning. You have no computer today.
No, let's trickle off the paper.
Huh.
So she knows she can still do it.
That's right.
This morning, we have two orders of business. First one is approved plans and specification for bridge replacement on 110th Street between Oak and Ohio Avenue. It's our BROS project, up in northeast of Livermore, Iowa, just east of the Divine Bridge. This is an old Fat Albert structure. You wouldn't know it, but it's a Fat Albert structure with about 3 foot of rock in it. That's why its curbs only stick up about this high. It's filled in completely.
Where's this at now?
Homeburgers, Randy and Deb Birdie, straight east of your daughter a mile on 110th, just east of the Divine Bridge.
Okay, east of it, okay.
Did I say west of the Divine? If I said west, I was in the wrong direction. But look, when you look at your map, it gives you a little hint, Livermore and the location here. I have the small version of the plans for you guys with good eyes. I keep the good ones, the big size ones, but, it's a 10 by 10, it's got a little bit of a skew to it,
I love my home.
66 foot of barrel and end sections. This is a BR project. We have had this done for 6-7 weeks, and we finally got environmental concurrence so that we could get on with this thing. We have offers out for right-of-way. We could not do that until we had an environmental concurrence. And as of, I think, today, we can talk to one who has not responded. Otherwise, we have right-of-way from one side, we need it from the other also. We can send right-of-way out, and we can't talk to them for 10 days, and the 10 days was up, I think, Thursday or Friday. These are Fed aid projects. The other ones that we'll talk about when I'm done go much better without Fed aid. Much faster.
We don't have all the hoops.
Correct. Questions?
It'll be quite a job for them to grub the old one out, I suppose.
The old ones, these old Fat Alberts can, we added a little bit into our engineer's estimate just for that, because, there are a lot of concrete, those were the days when concrete was cheap, and so was labor, and, we have a lot of both of it. But it might, the east abutment on this might go because it's cracked and separated and splitting, so that might come out 2 halves. And who knows, sometimes these things, are easier than they are.
So what's the time frame?
Time frame, we won't know that until we get to
I mean,
contract.
guesstimate on work, I mean, completion would be,
I would say the DOT will take, something, it's a gravel road, and they'll look sometime in November and back off 5 weeks, and the late start date would be September 15th or October 1st. It's on a gravel road, they'll take the latest, and, they'll probably make it 15 working days, and practical purposes, somebody will come in there and do it in 5 or 7.
It's not a heavy commercial road because of the bridge.
No, the only thing we'll have a concern out there with, one resident.
One farm on one side.
One house on the north side, to get anything to her would be over a 3-ton bridge,
Yeah.
the line.
Fire truck could be a problem.
Well, fire truck could be exempt at that point.
Well, they can shoot across it.
Just put,
Cross their fingers.
have Dave shoot across it, I don't know. No, those,
on those kinda deals, yeah.
Okay.
You have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the plans and specs. Do I need to give you the number?
It's
110th Street.
110th Street. Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We will look for signatures, I'll, leave these here, so we can get them submitted to the DOT. This will be a DOT letting on, April 19th. We had tried to get it on the, March letting, and we got bumped because we couldn't get environmental concurrence, but we do now, and I think we're in good shape to be in that, hopefully, we'll see. The next order of business, I did not make you copies of because it's approved applications for construction on county right-of-way. There's 2 applications for construction on county right-of-way for Midland Power Cooperative for re-spanning overhead power lines west of Odison on C-20 and south on P-20. C-20 is, in Section 8, it's over in the vicinity of Scott Campen on the north side of the road, so re-spanning and re-poling. And the other one is Wacusta Section 16, it's on the corner south of Odison, on the west corner going south. We wanted permits for both of these. We want to review when they re-span, where the guy wires go mainly, is what it amounts to. Also, the one south of Odison, there was a zig and a zag in the power line due to an old farmstead that's no longer there. However, the right-of-way was never acquired to be the full 90-foot right-of-way. It's still 66 foot in front of that abandoned location. We have talked to Midland Power to see if they'd want to put some skin in the game to acquire that 7/100 of an acre or something, but when you multiply something times a tenth times to a big number, it adds up. Otherwise, we would acquire it and clean it, and establish a ditch that it isn't there. There's 350 foot of Snappy's old acreage there, Mort, is where we didn't get the right-of-way.
So is this down towards the cemetery?
This would be miles, yes, that direction on the west side of on the west curve going south. On the west side of the road, if you're running, there you'll see the lap out there for where they want them, they're
Gotta
gonna...
go around the
No, it's just the north-south portion there, on the west side of the S, and
Yeah.
it's going where Snappy's farmstead was, and that was one of their questions.
Yeah, but I say you gotta come from Odison, you go around.
Right, through the curve.
And then if you're going down the hill, the acreage is right there.
Acreage is right on the top there. But they didn't really have a map of it, they have great description, and it's all marked, so I didn't even bother copying it for you, 'cause it was, unless you had a plat book, you wouldn't understand it very easily.
Do I have a motion?
I'd move we approve the application for Midland Power to re-span the lines south and west of Odison.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
And I can, now or later, we have 3 projects we're trying to group, and I think we'll set the date next week for these 3 local letting projects, and I think, somewhere February, and that's where I wanted to, query on the board as to when's good dates, the week of the 10th, the 16th, or the 27th. We're trying to avoid the DOT. No.
Oh, just for the letting?
For the letting, and the earlier the better, I think, is starting to look like, because I think there's a lot of work out there. The DOT's letting is the 16th, so, if we wanted to do anything that week, we'd wanna go after the letting, then we'd see who got to work and whatever of the letting, and we go from there, but, I'd say right now either the 10th or the 27th, and I didn't know what your schedules look like. I know that you got a lot of drainage and a lot of other things that's, scheduled coming, and we can talk about later, but the point...
February?
Yes, and the point of this, is when's a good time, and we have three local structures. One of them's the burnt bridge. It's a 14 by 14, a 12 by 12,
and a 10-by-10 is all three structures that we're gonna try to group. We, however, are gonna bid them at the same time, but we're gonna not tie them. In this case, the, two bigger ones probably take a crane, but the 10-by-10 does not take a crane. So it, in all likelihood, it might be two different contractors at least. But,
Wednesday the 10th, anybody?
well, we'll set it next week, I'm just trying to make sure that, on the schedule with all of the other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
The 10th is,
Just letting you know that might be the day.
10th or even the 27th, late in the month, how is that?
That's open too.
Okay,
Twenty-seventh is on a...
we'll pick it and I'll clear it with chairman
27th on
before I
Saturday.
set an agenda.
Paul, 27th on a Saturday.
Oh, well, then I got the wrong month.
Yeah,
27th.
How about the 24th,
Mhm.
23rd or 4th?
yeah.
Yeah, I'd be fine too.
Because if the 10th was a Tuesday, it would be 14 and 10 would be
10th
24.
Wednesday. 10th Ash Wednesday,
Tenth would be the best, yeah.
already.
Wow, good, that means it's, more normal, 9 below.
24th?
Spring's here.
All right.
Yeah.
You let us know.
Anyway, we're looking at those three structures, then we will have, the two grading projects to let, otherwise we'll have our, it'll be 5 box culverts next summer, 14 miles of paving and 2 grading projects. Extensive year. Yep. Thank you.
One thing nice, that 10-cent gas tax, 4 of them box culverts up.
Nice feeling. Other items, Peggy?
I have the billing from North Central Iowa Service for putting the lights in, out in the hallways and in the offices. And the total bill came up to $30,665. We get a rebate of, $21,290, but we have to pay the $22,521 right now. It'll cost us about $1,231 when we're all done. So we'll have Jerry go ahead and okay the billing, we'll put that in with the next claim date. I've got a copy of the rebate form that they filled out for us, so we need to do that.
It won't take us long to get that $1,200 done either.
Yeah, it will take all of it.
Energy savings.
This is one for you to okay that just came in from
So did you notice the difference?
Yeah,
The
they're
light-
brighter. I
they
think
are?
they're brighter.
Good.
Yeah, I like them.
They're a
And I
wired
even
light.
asked them about replacing these type of bulbs in here, and they're gonna do that too, so. One more additional thing for the pile of emails. Just wanted to remind you, anyone else, I hadn't heard from anyone other than Carl and Jerry as far as the Farm Bureau meeting on February 8th. Any of the rest of you planning on going? I should probably let them know.
I'm planning on,
Bruce will be there?
Yeah.
that's at 6 o'clock up at the Farm Bureau.
Mort, you're
Yep.
going to make it? Okay.
And Rick and I probably won't be at that. We're having meetings unless something changes.
Okay.
Still have one meeting.
Okay, I will do that. All right, I'll let her know. Then, I'd asked last week, Carl, if anybody was going to the statewide supervisors meeting on February 11th, because it's time to get signed up and get room. Do you want to explain anything more about that, about what's coming up?
I
And
didn't bring the agenda, but I think we have some good
there
programs.
was one in the pile of mail here.
Yeah,
You
I
guys-
got sitting here.
Okay.
One of the things we're gonna have on that is, people from
See the
the
date?
managed care operation to tell us what's gonna happen with Medicaid.
Sign this, do I?
And we're gonna have some people from emergency management, I believe. Well, that's next week, that's a one-day deal.
Yeah.
So that's Wednesday, or excuse me, Thursday, Friday,
No.
11th and 12th?
I think it's just the 11th.
Just
Oh, the 11th?
one day.
Just 11th?
I didn't look at the agenda to see what time it started. Do you have that, Rick, or somebody?
7 AM to 8 AM.
8
Exhibitor
AM
set up.
registration, starts at 9, basically,
Yeah.
with Carl speaking to us.
Well, we can look into that on the way down. Can he call you? Put us on the speakerphone?
Sounds good.
We have just the front here signed,
So if
Jerry.
anybody's planning on going to that one-day meeting, let me know. If for some reason you need a motel room for the night before, let me know that also, in case you don't wanna drive down in the morning.
Did I see that agenda?
Because I'll
Yeah.
need to get that set up for you. I do have some meeting registrations, for spring school. I was able to get everybody into the Marriott, so everybody's all signed up. But you do need to sign, these are your, this is for more, your registration fees. You need to okay that for me so I can pay. This one's Bruce's.
Okay, Bruce, this is yours.
This one's yours, Rick.
What do I do with this?
This is Carl's.
Sign it for your registration fees.
Any place?
Yep, approve it for me.
I'll make yours an airplane and fly it to you.
I will put it on the Carl.
You need to register me, but I think they got my room already.
Yeah, I figured I'd have to probably, so set you up on that meeting. Yeah, I can do that. That's all I have.
You want any info on this thing? So you pay the bill, do you?
Yep, just sign it so that I can pay it. I can put the account numbers on it and that, but I wanted to get your signature that it's okay to pay that registration fee.
Okay.
I'm gonna call and find out what this is about.
Okay.
That looks like it's something different.
So 2 more items. One, I met with 4 out of the 5 people that we do, evaluations on. Reviewed it with them and gave them a composite, the ones that wanted to keep copies, and signed it. So when I get a chance to visit with Joanne, I'll have everybody done, and then I will turn that over to Peggy and keep on file. Some of them did want a copy, so I want to have a copy of the composite, and then let them go over your written comments individually. The other item we brought up this morning, Peggy, when you were out on drainage, it was brought during the treasurer's meeting, or the drainage clerk meeting during Iowa Drainage District meeting, that they would like to maybe have some representation on that board during the year. So it was brought to our board meeting last week, and the board was very favorable about letting one drainage clerk sit on that meeting. They wouldn't be able to vote, but they would be required to come to 4 or 5 meetings a year in the mornings, and usually on Wednesday morning starts at 9:30, we're usually done by 11:30 or noon. So Doreen was asked if she would be interested first, but she didn't think it would fit her schedules at that time, so Trish has shown the interest. So with your permission, we'd like to have her set it on this board for at least a year, maybe 2, and then we can rotate it to somebody else at that time. But I really think it would be good, because there's so much going on with law issues, with drainage changes, and the EPA and everything, that it probably would be a good first-hand knowledge for them to see what this report's about, so if you're...
That'd be every other month, right?
What's that?
You said every other month?
Well, I wouldn't use...
Varies?
4 to 5 times a year. It kind of varies depending on what's going on. We're not meeting now until March, but, if there's something going on, there might be an extra meeting, but it usually averages out 4 to 5 meetings plus our annual meeting, so it might be 6 meetings during the year, so... And, what I do is usually meet down here with, Dan Claw and what Stan and I have been meeting, Keith met us last time, so I would talk to Trish, and she wants to, Stan usually likes to drive the 340 pickup, so, and visit, so we probably could just meet down here at Hardee's, or if that's harder, or then we could save some mileage too, because it's kind of crazy for us all to drive there.
You bet. I would prefer that she go with you.
Yeah, and then that way she'd come home, as soon as we're done with the meeting, she'd come right back, and...
That's assuming they come right back.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes we have
I think
lunch.
it might be safer.
Sometimes they eat lunch, but we haven't been doing it because everybody's schedules are so busy.
Stan doesn't miss lunch.
Yeah, well, Stan usually has another meeting in the afternoon, so, a lot of these guys are 3-man boards, they've got 2 meetings a day a lot of times, so. But yeah, I think it'd be worthwhile, and
Yeah.
Trish can maybe talk to you at the end of the meeting about doing it or something, she might just say what your experience was like. I think it's a good idea, so. Okay. I don't know if we need anything, we need that on the approval for next week, or not, we'll just go ahead.
Okay.
All right, thanks. Anybody else? I've got no voice left, so I'm looking for motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
10:05.